because we are going on a vaccination and animal shelter tour. Oh, that's torn. That's tearing a little, and then it was just like, oh, look how easy I can just... It is hard to believe that season 2 is coming to an end. Of the little city of Cristobal de las Casas, because we are going on a vaccination and animal shelter tour where we're visiting a few different houses that have foster animals and animals for adoptions from the streets, and we're going to vaccinate them and give them all checkovers, and yeah, it should be fun. A little weird tour of the outside of the city. Our tour guide was Lizzie from the Dama Una Pata Foundation. She's been working with animal rescue groups throughout Mexico and is extremely passionate about street dog care, knowing each and everyone's story in the area. She has 5 rescue dogs of her own, each with big personalities, who are all due for their vaccinations. Hey, big boys like that, they don't even feel it. It's just that they just wiggle. Hey, they just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. With Lizzie's pack sorted, we're off to visit one of the largest personal dog shelters in San Cristobal de las Casas. So I'm always working here in the car.
Have you been on this side of the city?
No. Yo creo. I don't think so.
This is the older...
To house so many dogs, we went further and further outside of the city, chatting in Spanglish until we eventually reached a small countryside suburb at the base of the mountains. We could already hear all the patients outside and met their amazing foster mum, Gabby.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Also, you are about to see how she managed and how she just arranged everything for the dogs. Yeah, she's sí, se los quise.
So you need this one. Rocky. So if you can put here just for he can smell what you want to do and we can go inside. Ya no vino.
Proteja la puppy, proteja la puppy. Sí. Protect the puppy. Let's go, Jim. Let's go, don't get behind. Your mom is going to kick us off.
Hey, no, venga. When working with a large pack of rescue dogs, it's important to go slow and steady, allowing each one to approach you in their own time. Many of these dogs aren't accustomed to being held or cuddled, or they've been abused, so gentle pats and lots of hand sniffing is needed before restraining them for vaccination. Luckily, we all made friends very quickly, and with a total of 22 dogs and 7 cats, we really made a difference to Gabby's ability to care for these animals and eventually find them new homes by vaccinating each of those who needed it and giving them all checkovers. This was made possible by the Vet Tales donations, so thanks to each and every one of you for helping these animals. And of course you'll all remember Lucho from one of our recent Chuffed specials. His foster mum is also part of this organisation, and her house of rescue dogs was one of the stops on our tour. Lucho's mum specialises in rescued pit bulls, so we also met his brother Coco, who had a severe skin condition. Thankfully, both Coco and Lucho have improved greatly on our treatment regimes and are both very happy and healthy pit bulls at the moment. It did seem, though, that Coco had a bit of a sixth sense about the vet.
Bueno, ven, Coco, ven, Coquito, ven. Véndele, Coco, vente, Coco, vente, bebé. Soy Coco, pero... Coco, ven, Coco, ven. A ver qué te doy, ven. Coco. Mientras esté comiendo.
We had one more stop in downtown San Cristobal de las Casas, where we met another man making a big difference in unwanted pets' lives.
Se cortó, pero nada más.
So this dog, he rescued it because he was getting dragged behind a motorcycle by two women, and its feet were bleeding, and he basically was like, no, you can't have this dog. He rescued him, so that's pretty nice. It's a beautiful dog.
No, ya pasó. Ya pasó.
Listo. After exploring the beautiful city of San Cristobal de las Casas and working with over 50 animals in the area, we were ready to return to Chuffed. So we are about to take down all the sails and take some sail measurements so that we can get new ones, because I found out my main sail is 30 years old and the head sail is starting to tear along the kind of like the luffing edge. So yeah, we need to figure that out, and it's kind of one of those things of getting the sails repaired when they're that old is probably a waste of money, because I'll spend $300 paying someone who's probably not a sail maker to fix them, and then, you know, they're gonna tear. So we'll get them down. Ready? I kind of only half know what we're doing. Yeah, you should be able to pull from your side, I think. Oh, maybe not. Yeah. We take this thing off, and then that allows us to get these cars out of that slot. And then we take this off here, and then we can slide the sail out of this track like that. So I'm thinking the easiest is probably to take it down from the top first, do you think, then slide out of here? Because then we can kind of take the sail like that, whereas if we try and slide this forwards first, we've only got such a small amount of space, would be my guess.
Yeah, I guess.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
All right, I need to get some tools. I'm not sure whether you can just slide it across eventually or whether you take the whole thing off. Ah, probably can just do that, huh? A little further. And then it just slots out. And now I think we just got to pull it out of this slot here. I guess if we walk it forwards a bit and pull it out. So for those of you who are thinking, why not repair the sails? They are in, I'll show you the mane as well up close, but like, they are in really terrible condition. And it gets to a point where it's been repaired like multiple times with patches. And eventually it kind of becomes not worth it to repair it anymore. So that's why new sails will be the way to go. So the head sail is very similar to the mane, where we undo this little fella and then slide it up and out of here. There's like a little gap where we can slide it out of. And while we're doing that, we just got to let the halyard up the top down, which I've never touched that halyard really, so yeah, hopefully it works well. Yep. I would say I'm 90% sure that's the halyard for two. Undoing these rusty bolts has proved to be the hardest part so far. And you can see, yeah, sails in not great condition. And this bit, I was like, oh, that's torn, that's tearing a little. And then it was just like, oh, look how easy I can just tear that to pieces. So I would say we kind of just made it here with these sails. So I am measuring, we're about to measure some things for sails. So basically I'm going to measure the actual sails themselves, so I have an idea of their size, but because those sails are so old, it's really important to take the measurements on the boat as well, because there's a very good chance they're stretched out and aren't the actual size of the new sails that I want. So yeah, we've got to measure some boom measurements and the height of the mast measurements and a few other measurements coming down onto the boat. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, like 20 odd measurements that I've got to take in total, including like the widths of the sail car slots and different things like that. So yes, we'll get measuring.
We also took measurements of all the old sails, just as a backup and confirmation of the on-boat measurements.
I'm so hot.
Oh, Captain Trick.
Beautiful. Feels weird doing this. Like more permanent or something.
It was slightly nerve-wracking taking all these measurements and sending them away, hoping I did them all correctly.
Wow, it is hard to believe that season 2 is coming to an end. I'm just so overwhelmed for all of the support that we have had this season. It's been really amazing. We've doubled our Patron numbers. We've had so many people donate to help keep Chuffed afloat through our GoFundMe campaign that we held. It's just truly amazing to know that we're going to be able to do the work Chuffed needs and continue this mission to sail and save animals. I was thinking back, I mean, like real time, it's the beginning of August for us here, and we're just shutting Chuffed down so that I can go back and work for a few weeks and save a bit of extra money to help with the repairs Chuffed needs. And then basically I'm coming back in October and we'll be hauling out and getting it all done. So ready for hurricane season to be over to start heading north. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. But I was thinking back over everything that's happened this year, and it's like, it's hard to believe that, you know, I had that shaft seal problem when I got back to the boat in January, and then that seemed like, it kind of seemed like too much for me, you know, like I was doing a shaft seal change with my experience level on sailboats during a tide window. It was really scary thought, and then all of a sudden Will and Lena were in town and there, and Will knew exactly what to do, and I just feel like that kind of thing has happened all along the way, you know, like when the starter motor wouldn't work when we were in the marina in Nicaragua. Again, it was something that seemed like such a huge, like at the time it just seemed so bad and I was really upset about it, but then looking back I'm like, well, that couldn't have been more perfect timing. Of all the times for the starter motor not to work, being in a marina where we were able to pay $100 for a mechanic to pick it up, fix it and bring it back and install it, I mean, you know, if we'd been somewhere else, that could have been a much worse problem if we'd been on anchor in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, I guess, you know, yeah, it's been nice reflecting on the year that's been, all of the problems, which has been many, and at times it seemed overwhelming, but then all the things we've achieved too. You know, Jim had never sailed before, I'd never been a captain and had very little sailing experience, and you know, we beat up a stretch of coastline that is notorious for people hating it and for being really, really hard, and you know, we did it. It was over 1,000 nautical miles, beating into the wind half the time with no wind or wind coming from every direction. You know, we learned a lot about sailing, we learned a lot about ourselves and each other, and also the animal work has been amazing. Like in a 4-month period, we somehow visited 5 countries and worked like with over like 200 animals, which is really pretty amazing. You know, like 50 animals a month on average when the care we're delivering. You know, there's not many non-profits that work with animals that are achieving that kind of those kinds of numbers, particularly not non-profits where there's just one person doing the animal work and one person supporting the veterinarian, and then obviously all of you supporting too, which is why it is actually possible and why we can do it. So yeah, I'm feeling really really chuffed, and I hope you guys enjoyed the season, and I hope you are excited for next season like I am. And yeah, I'm just feeling very grateful and overwhelmed and a little bit sad to say goodbye to my girl. It's funny, like I've been on her like just non-stop now for months and months and months. Obviously it's been like 7 months, 8 months of just non-stop me and Chuffed. And yeah, like she's my home, you know. It's I think some people who don't cruise full-time don't always understand, like Chuffed is not just my boat that I day sail, like she's my home. I live on her all the time, and so I'm attached. So I'm really, really excited and happy and grateful that that I'll get to stay attached to her and get her the care that she needs, so that we can then give the animals the care they need. So yeah, it's really, really cool. Anyway, I'm rambling because words can't really express all my feelings I'm feeling, but just wanted to say thank you to all of you to sticking with us this season, and for all the new people that joined, for all the people who've been there since the beginning. It's just, yeah, I'm forever grateful, and next season's going to be amazing. Jim will be returning. Yeah, we've got all the work to do, so it's going to be a heap of boat work and repairs, which I know excites you all. We've already got a bunch of animal work lined up for as we head north, and I mean the Sea of Cortez and these areas that we're going to be going to, Vallarta and Huatulco and all these spots, they look really amazing. So I think we're going to have a really good time, and I'm very excited to take you all along with me. All right, well, that's a wrap, everybody. Until next time, stay chuffed.
Thank you to each and every one of you who helped keep the dream afloat of sailing and saving animals. Patrons are getting live updates of the haul out, and we can't wait to be back in the water sailing again. Season 3 won't be far away, and in the meantime, we've got some Chuffed specials, including a Patron sale coming your way. Until next time, stay chuffed, everybody.